thing. It's just at some point, obviously, you just got to pull the trigger. But I want to make sure that we're clear on how whether it's support or resistance, even if it doesn't use it at that moment or at that time, that they often come back and give you that opportunity to try again. Not at the best price. You really had one opportunity, right? Like it was the 1250 candle. That was your only opportunity to get in within a point of the actual level itself. Anybody got any questions on that?
Okay, yes, George.
Yep.
Okay, after the first resistance break,
Mhm.
you have this red candle over there. Why would that not be a good entry?
So remember, we're looking for shorts. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So if I had labeled it out and said one resistance, two resistance, third has to hold,
Okay.
and you didn't have a limit order sitting here, here, and here,
Mm-hmm.
then I'm giving people the understanding that as it's again, this is just it's a total assumption on people's trading because I don't actually know how you trade. But let's just assume you don't put a limit order in just like right there waiting for it. Okay.
Okay.
I'm just letting people know that it's not necessarily over, but I also don't want people to chase.
Oh,
So you're talking about this candle here, the 1305?
no, at 12, I think 11. Yeah, the red one right there. No, come back. Go.
This guy?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, this one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can I go short on that one? Could I have gone
Can you
short
go
on that one?
Not so we've talked about this before, right? I know we've talked about this. When you talk about needing to commit, right? The market needs to solidify below a certain level or above a certain level. You got two basically doji candles sitting right here at 1140 and 1145. So they're not really committing, right? Yes, they wicked. Again, we're only talking a matter of a point and a quarter, point and a half. So they wicked below. Conversely, look at what happened over here. Same thing, right? So 1305, they broke, got below the midpoint, came back up. So again, this right here, it's a little dicey, right? You're sitting there thinking, I don't know. But then as this candle closed, that one closed, that one closed, that one closed, that one closed, we've touched POC. Now you put your limit order back up at that original resistance line. Let it come to you. And again, we've seen it before and you'll see it a lot. Well, not a lot, but you'll find the examples where it just goes, right? It doesn't give you that pullback opportunity. Agreed?
Yes.
Yeah. Those you just got to let go. Like there's nothing you can do about those.
Okay.
Here, it's calculated. It's got some measure of you can gauge like risk reward. Because if I just let this break and it doesn't just take off, right? That's a nice wick candle up. Then you already knew from back earlier this morning that this was a resistance line. So what I'm trying to make sure people understand is it's still a resistance line. It doesn't just magically disappear later in the day.
Okay.
So when it does commit and you get multiple candles, we said this a lot, you got to have multiple candle closes below certain levels or above certain levels for them to say, yes, we are committing. We're going, in a specific direction. Fine. Great. Now you can just automatically put your sell limit, here, waiting for it to come back to you. So it's going to take you 5, 10, 15 minutes for it to even come back to get you in. Now, you also cannot lose sight of the fact, and this is just trading, it's the way it goes, is that while it is still a resistance level, it's kind of giving us all the right clues, right? Like it's doing all the right things. It doesn't mean it can't go back here. And you just got to be prepared for it. So how do you prepare yourself for that? Well, you do the quick math. Like, all right, well, the original resistance was at 76.75. Okay, or 77, whatever. That was the original resistance. All right. The one before that, or one after that's at 83. Well, that's a 6 point spread. And so you got to ask yourself, am I willing to hold on if I go negative for 6 points? The answer should probably be no.
And also, you said you had your limit order sitting on the second target. Why not the first? Because you were not.
Why not the first?
Because I think you mentioned about after the decision point, you have a danger zone. So I'm trying to.
That's when you get to the targets. We're not even at targets. That happened way later in the day. It was back here.
So my question is, why didn't you take the first target only, since you're not behind your computer? And because after the first target, you could come back to the decision point. Is that not it?
Yeah. So you're talking about like here at 59.60?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, 59
I thought
actually.
that was
What
the
was it?
safest place to be.
What do you mean safest place?
I mean, safest place to take profit.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, and then you had a second one.
I sold from here at 82.
Okay.
I paired out some here at high mid. I paired out some more at POC. I paired some more out at low mid. And then expected low and 59 were so close together that I figured just go ahead and let it go. So I paired more out at 59, and my last contracts were gone by 53.
Oh, okay. So you had all this in place before you left. Okay, I got it.
Correct.
Thank you.
Yeah. Again, the topic really is just making sure that people are fully equipped with the understanding that if you have a support level and you, just like this, or we'll just use resistance because it's easy enough to understand right now. If you have a resistance level and it doesn't do it ultimately, and it just ends up going through it and seeking out the next one, what you're watching, or again, what's the information surrounding all this?
Mm.
And in that case, again, never made it to the has to hold, used the second resistance level perfectly fine. So yeah, just know that, all right, well, great. I'll wait for it to come back to the first resistance level. Oh, cool. Mark, yeah, hang on. There you go.
Hey, thanks, George. How are you?
Good, Mark. How are you?
Yeah. Just want to add, if I would, that Shush asked about that 1150 red candle there, about maybe why wouldn't he get in short?
Mhm.
Just to add to that, I'm looking at the trend, and I'm seeing that we have higher highs and higher lows at this point. So
Yep.
as long as that's still valid, I'm not thinking about a true reversal at that point. Now, if you go over to 1 o'clock, that trend is broken, further down the line there. So I'm just adding, notwithstanding all the levels and the resistances and stuff like that,
Mhm.
just looking at the candle pattern there, is
Mhm.
it valid to just identify that we're still in that higher high, higher low, bullish trend? And that would be another reason why I wouldn't want to get in short at that point.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, I mean, again, lay it out with respect to, again, the has to holds are has to holds. Like they just are what they are. They obviously have to break in order for it to go any more in that direction. But that was really my key topic this evening. Anybody got anything else? I know today was kind of a humdrum sort of day until they finally did start doing something, but that didn't happen until
Okay, I have one.
much later in the day.
Okay, how does these things play out when you have the 3 o'clock range, 8:30 range, 9:30 range in the background? How do they interact? Because sometimes I hear you say take profit at the 3 o'clock.
Yeah. So this is more just it's misnomer. It's just speaking to kind of how you see things happen, sort of day in and day out. So it's more of a good rule than anything else. But you'll have periods where the market just likes to go back and tag things. It's just what it does. And it's not that because it's 3 a.m. or because it's 9:30. It's price. It's always price, right? It's always just price related, and that price gets established at these key points in the day, 3 o'clock, 8:30, 9:30. So what will often happen? I mean, you can go back and look at your own charts. How many times do you see, let's take this morning, right? We started off way down here, 9:30, and it just had to do it. Like it had to go back and tag 3 a.m. And then the 9:30 bar is extremely important for us here trading in the US because that's actually going to determine really how the rest of your day sets out. Because if you can get under the 9:30 bar, then you're going to go down ultimately and achieve some number of either targets or midpoints, expected low, etc. If you can get above the 9:30, same thing. The only thing that changes that, excuse me, is whether or not you have targets. So again, targets always take precedent, always, always. But yeah, starting off the day, getting above or below the 9:30, which is why days like that start here, where yeah, you're technically above 9:30, but then you're just back in it. But look at this, like if you just drew a line, it's already there, a green line of just the 9:30 bar. I mean, look at this. This is ridiculous. It just can't even get through the bottom of the 9:30. That's why we put emphasis on it. I highlight it, make sure that people are, as we come back to it at some point in the day, or if it doesn't correlate with something else, which it did later, correlated with the POC. Just good rule of thumb, like take some money off, take a profit.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the same with the 3 a.m. bar, same deal. Like it just constantly comes back to tag the 3 a.m. bar. Anybody else? Yeah, I didn't want to spend too much time, but make sure I got the point across. Go down, same thing with support. If we push through a support level and there's maybe a has to hold below that, but ultimately they either A, don't get to the has to hold, or B, they get all the way there and they climb back up and they go back to the support level again, then same deal. Like it's still game on. Like you can still continue trying to re-enter.
I got a question.
Go on. Yeah.
I've heard you say, once a rubber band has been entered and bounced,
Mhm.
the chances of it bouncing again and again and again at that rubber band diminish. No?
Yeah, it's usually three. And again, that's not like a hard and fast rule, but again, just observation over the years. If they touch it three different times, they're either gonna break it or they're gonna push the other direction.
Yeah, but I wanted to ask, do you treat that same theory of diminishing return, let's call it, with true resistance lines versus rubber bands? Do they carry the same pattern? I mean, if I hit resistance and then bounce
No.
back to that resistance is resistance and it stays there,
Yeah.
still valid throughout, right?
Uh, if you ever need I would say if you ever need clarification, just ask in the day. Because again, it's the same thing. There's always big picture scenarios at play versus, very small intraday scenarios. Always. So if you ever need clarification, just don't hesitate to ask.
Okay.
I'll do my best to try and just let people know that and I usually will do something to the effect of all right, guys, I'm out here. It's 11 o'clock, but these levels we gave should be good for the day. Okay. If I say something like that, then it's exactly what I'm saying. It'd be very difficult for them to do anything beyond what they've already sort of set out. And then, subsequently, we always have these little minor has to holds, minor supports. It just means it's here and now. This needs to happen or not happen right now in the next, 5 to 15 minutes kind of thing. Anything else? Anything you want to over?
I think I appreciate you clarifying the resistance point because I'm on sim anyway. I think when you mentioned it in the morning, I moved my limit orders that has to hold. So when you said the has to hold has changed and move it up, moved my limit orders to that point. I never considered the resistance level anymore. So
I got you.
that's
Okay. Well, yeah. Then
interesting.
I'm glad we're talking about it then. Yeah, because again, it's not it's not that they just disappeared. It's just to say that they have laid out some stuff that says that it could go as far as here, wherever here is at that time. So that's good. Glad we talked about it. Yeah, it's never to scare people out of trading. I don't do that to say even this morning, because it was originally the has to hold, I think was at 83, or maybe it was 82 half or something. And that's where they set it out at the beginning of the morning. Great. Just because they moved it to 89, and again, unless I say something different, but I didn't, so 83 is still a resistance level, right? Then yeah, you should still look at it as nothing other than that. It's still resistance. Well, if it's resistance, then again, whether it has kind of like this example here, this from this one, whether it has the ultimate drop or not is not up for you or I to decide. Okay, they will make that decision. Fact is, you're still trying to treat it as what it is. It's just a resistance level. Okay, great.
Oh, that's very useful. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else?
Can you kind of explain why we had these two targets close to each other in the morning? Because
Yeah, they were just two scenarios playing out, and we had said it this morning. The target itself was at 60, and they had made it to 67.5. And I made a point of saying I can't stand it when they do that crap because it being only 3 ticks away from the actual target. Sometimes I don't like it when it happens, but sometimes it means that that's it. They're good. They've gotten close enough that they don't really feel like taking it that last 3 ticks. So they drive me nuts. It absolutely drives me bonkers when they get within that short. If it's within one tick, I'm already calling that good. I call that done. When it's within 2 or 3 ticks, I'm always just kind of like, are they really finished? Really? Because like one more tick was going to kill you, to go 1 or 2 more ticks to get to that target. Not that I'm aiming for that. Like if the target's 60, then I'm already got my exit somewhere around 61 or better, because I'm trying to just get out. I'm not trying to be perfect. So again, this is all assuming I was in a trade, which I wasn't this morning. But if it was coming down to get to 60, my contracts would have been exiting prior to that anyway. So I don't really care.
Okay.
But it does make, it kind of muddies up the waters quite a bit when they just miss it by 3 ticks like that. It's kind of annoying. So that was the first scenario.
Mhm.
The second scenario was fully intact because they never broke through anything on the upside that was going to cause it to come down, or sorry, to not come down.
Okay.
So, and then I think just moments ago I was watching a separate screen. We got rubber band. Yep, there it is. 40. Yep,
Wow.
there's rubber band. Got it. Tag.
Wow.
Yep. It's crazy. I know.
So sometimes it just take hours to get to your target. Other
Yeah.
times it's
Yeah.
within
And I don't get
few.
to set them up. It's just what they're giving us. And this is how it goes sometimes. It just takes forever. I can't. There's the one thing I certainly cannot control. I cannot control how long stuff takes to play it out, and it finally did it. That was a good wick up too.
Wow.
Yeah. So now they would need to commit back through. What is that? 54. If they can't commit back through 54, then they're going to bounce again. So yeah, it's always just kind of like, little bit, little bit, little bit. If this, then that. Of course, now they're into a third scenario, which we didn't talk about. Again, I don't try to inundate the room with too much, simply because, well, this one's probably going to play out some time over the Globex session, and it may finish, who knows, 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. So it's not worth talking about every single possible move all the time. Yeah, they got a rubber band down here. It's 64.32. Yep. So there you go. Little added piece for those of you who are here tonight. You
Hmm.
can watch the 64.32 half actually. So 64.32 half is a rubber band, and we'll see. Wake up in the morning, and are we above it or below it? That's it.
Hmm.
Yep. Cool. Yeah. Anybody else? So, and again, just make sure everybody understands it. Like, it ain't over till it's over. And even though you push through a resistance line, it's not a big deal unless you go through the ultimate, which again is the has to hold. That's what the has to holds, they're kind of like rubber bands, right? They tell you so much. Like if you had some kind of bias and it just plows through a rubber band, you may want to change your bias.
I think that I'm trying to figure out how much room to give to each key level, like the has to hold and like the resistance. If
If it's a big picture one, and I'll do my best to, and again, you're always welcome to clarify. If you ever have questions about that, like in the middle of the day, just let me know. But if it's a big picture has to hold, then yeah, it can require a few points, call it 4 or 5 points of kind of wiggle room because it can do a lot. And then typically in an intraday scenario, looking at the core levels. So let's say kind of similar, right? Let's go back to our has to hold here. So I don't believe, yeah, it was kind of a big picture, but let's just assume. So this one's at 89, extended highs up here at 92. That's only 3 points. So given that's a big picture, that's what I would be looking at. I'd be figuring like, all right, I want to try to enter without feeling like I'm chickening out of the trade. But am I cool if this thing goes 3 points against me?
mm-hmm.
Is that all right with me? You just got to check in with yourself.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, I can hold it. I can hold it, and see if it just happens. Because on the big picture one, right, I could just wick up to like here and then drop again. Because ultimately, it really is about the full breadth of that move. Does it really solidify? Right? Do you have multiple candle closes above or below it?
Mm.
I think we had a similar one on Friday. If I didn't lose all my data, yeah, I did. Lost my data.
Oh.
But it was like 90. What was it? Let me look at my notes here. I was 94 half. So there was a has to hold at
Mm-hmm.
94 half.
Okay.
Right?
Uh-huh.
Look at that. It's amazing. Then throughout the night, like even here, like same thing, 17 hours, it came back to wick. But if you're not panicking, freaking out, knowing like, well, 94 half has to hold. Okay. There you go. You were in good shape after that.
Now I've developed that so much confidence in this level, so I just have to know how to play it out. That's it.
How so? Like, give me some examples. What do you mean by playing it out?
No, what I mean is, especially when it comes to my limit orders and how much breathing room I give them, that's where it is.
If I ever say minor, you don't need to give them a lot.
Okay.
2 points at most. It's a
Okay.
minor thing. Like it's not intended. It's not trying to go, anywhere big. It's a minor move.
Okay.
It's just a small move within the bigger move. And, we'll try to call those out on days where maybe we're just not giving maybe we're not getting a lot of bigger movement. So, I don't care for the tiny moves. I'm not going to call those out because again, I want the risk to be worth the reward, right? Like I want to know this thing's going to go at least 5 to 7 points.
Okay.
So if I'm thinking 5 or 7,
you think?
Then shoot, I may as well only give it like 2 points of risk.
Okay. Thank you, George.
Mm-hmm. Was somebody else trying to say something? Sorry. Nope. Okay. Yeah, like the current here, since we're just here anyway. Not sure what exactly happened here in the market to cause the movement, but whatever. 45 half is target. Looks like 38.75. I nearly got that one already. Not quite. Nearly. Then yeah, we said earlier 32 half is rubber band of this current move, because again it seems to be, at least this moment seems to be committing back below the 54 we talked about.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's why I said, like, yeah, we had this spike. Great, we hit targets 1, 2, and 3 from earlier. Bam, bam, bam. Cool, done. But they've now bled over into another scenario. So this rubber band again was down here at 47. Next target's down here at 45. Half. So yeah, it's never a straight line, right? It's they got to break one thing to get to the next thing, which is why I'm a huge fan of pairing out. Take a little off, take a little off, take a little off. Don't try to be a hero and hold for these giant moves. It's probably not going to work out for you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, see? And we're back above 54. So, yeah, if you knew the number, right, like at the time, it's not a big deal. Like, okay, it makes this drop. You've already got profit planned in advance to get out at 54. And then, whatever, it mucks around and does a bunch of crap and confuses all these people. And like, you're taking up, you don't care. Like, whatever. Mark, you doing good? Take that as a yes. Oh, we're going to go to target. There it is. Boom. 45.
Awesome.
Do the tick. Boom. Why? Because it broke 54. Okay, great.
Oh,
Yeah, again, that's it, right? Like, that's all you can do with respect to the move sometimes, because it had to break 54 to even get here. It's got to break here to get here. It's got to break here to get here. So,
okay, just to clarify, did you say the danger zone is between target 2 and decision point?
correct. Yeah. So, like, and this one didn't fire off until much later in the day, so we didn't even talk about it. But the decision point was down here at this first target here at 60. Or sorry, back here. This one. This guy. So there's a 60 back here. Okay.
Yeah.
Losing 60 was also the decision point for these furthering targets down here. So you could have drawn this guy.
Mm-hmm.
There's your decision point. And what did it just recently do? Came right back to decision point.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't fully break and commit.
Mm-hmm.
And so now it's here. So yes, to your question, this is the danger zone. Always is, between second target and decision point. So what does that mean? It means it could just hang out here for the next 3 hours and do nothing. So if you're doing anything other than trying to sell from up here, or buy from down here, then you're just guessing. That's all you're doing, just guessing.
That is after the first target has been achieved, right?
Correct. Yep. After the first target's been achieved.
Thanks.
Yeah, not until, which makes like again. Let's go back to that. That's why I can't stand it when they do this crap,
Oh, okay.
because now everything is available. Nothing has been fully checked. Nothing has really, closed out. Everything's an option. Well,
Okay.
it's really hard to trade when everything is an option,
Oh, okay.
which is why I like it when it's clean and they hit the number and they get to the thing and they check the box and like, great, fantastic. Now we can move on and do the next thing. But when they do
Awesome.
that crap, yeah, when they do
Mm.
that, it's like, well, shit, everything's still available. There is no real, there's no real direction.
I think the other day you mentioned that when you're in the danger zone, it could go all the way back to the house to hold. Did you say something like that? I thought.
No.
Oh,
No,
okay.
it's all again. That's why it's a zone. It can only it's all undetermined, but it's confined. Again, it's all confined between these two decision point and the second target.
Okay.
But that's it. Like, no, if it breaks through here, if it gets through the second target and makes it to the rubber band, then they're giving you a really big clue, right? They're saying, hey, we are good to go, and they're gonna make it all the way to the rubber band. So you just
And
gotta be
if it breaks
cognizant.
through,
You just gotta be cognizant of like the candles, the wicks, the bodies, as it starts nearing here. If you don't get any body closes down below here, then it's just same thing. It's like it's stuck inside the same zone.
so what if it breaks the decision point to the upside? What?
Yeah, like if it did it now, the move's over.
Okay.
Yeah. So now what we're doing is we're looking for, okay, well, fine. What's next? Like, why did they break the decision point? What's the next move? What are they trying to do next?
But does that invalidate the rest of the two targets? Or they're still in play? They could come back to it.
Explain more.
Well, I mean, if you break to the upside, maybe
Like you break through the decision point?
Yes, to the upside.
Yeah.
I remember you talked about if we haven't checked all the boxes, they could go back to it, something like that. So how does it play?
So like right now we've hit target one. Okay. Cool. Great. If they break the decision point to the upside, it just means that they're not specifically, right? Because again, it's all laid out in mathematical, very specific order. It just means that specifically they're not planning on going to that specific target of, what did we just say? 38.75 and 32.5. Okay. I mean, specifically, those two targets are just they're gone. They're off the table. They're not going to do anything with them. It doesn't mean that we can't go back down, but when they choose to do that, they'll give a whole new series of targets. So it's important to know that, well, they already went to first target and then they broke through the decision point. Why is it important to know? So that you're not inadvertently chasing, 38.5 at some point in the future. Like, no, 38.5 is done. It's gone. It's finished. Well, why? Well, because they only took it to the 45.5 and then they broke decision. It doesn't mean like we can't keep going down. It just means that don't pay any mind or any attention to the 38.75 anymore. It doesn't matter. That price is no longer important to the market. It doesn't care.
Okay.
So here, I'll further my example. So let's say, same thing. And here we are, we're in this move, but I had already said that FYI, guys, there's this move that's even further down. Okay. I'm just totally making stuff up right here. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So that's our next scenario. That's our next move. Okay. If they only get it to here,
Mm-hmm.
and then they break the decision point,
Mm-hmm.
does that mean they can't come down here? No. They can absolutely still come down here later, just not now.
Okay.
Which is why I say it's wildly important to know, well, where was the decision point? Because again, if it bounces from here back up to here, then yes, this is still a valid selling point. It is still valid. It's still on the table. It's in the cards. And again, nobody's got a crystal ball. Like, I don't know if they're going to hold this decision point or not. But the fact is, if you think about it logically, would you like to be selling right now, for instance? Is this a good idea to just start clicking the market sell button right now?
No.
No, why? Because we're like within ticks, nearly a couple points of the next target. We're basically there. So unless you're really scalping, right, and just trying to literally hit ticks, then it's a terrible idea. Like you're already there. You're already at target, nearly. And because this is the danger zone, let's just see. Like I'll stay here long enough to see if this plays out. Let's just assume we don't actually even get to the 38.75 right here.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just see what happens. Like, yeah, like, I don't know, it comes back up, somewhere in here. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. You got 38.75. So much for that. Okay. Same thing though. We haven't hit rubber band. We all agree.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay.
So since we haven't hit rubber band yet,
Mm-hmm.
is this like a good place to like automatically buy?
No.
Not necessarily. How risky do you want to get? You know,
Because
could it work
go
out?
back to the decision point.
Well, because it's always in series, right? So it'll go from 38.75 initially back to what? 45 half.
Mm-hmm.
If it can prove itself out above 45 half, then it's really very much just like there's the possibility that we could get to 60. But again, this is the danger zone. We're literally living it right now. It can do whatever the hell it wants in here,
Okay.
which is what I'm not a fan of counter trend trading targets unless it's a rubber band. Because again, at least it's specific. At least it's well known. Because again, I can do the quick math behind it. If I bought at 32 quarter, okay, then I know I got to take profit at 38.75. Then I got to take more profit at 45 half. So even if it doesn't go all the way up and back and through 60 again, you've already taken, what is it, 8 points? No more than that. 13 points of profit from here to there.
All right. Awesome. Thank
Okay.
you.
And
Yeah,
again, you're counter trending it, yes, but you're not necessarily looking for, at least initially, you're not looking for the ultimate, complete pattern reversal. You're just looking for it to get back to at least the prior two targets. And then if you've got enough contracts and you're able to hold past that, then great. Then you can take more profit off back at 60. And then if it truly reverses, it'll blow through 60, right? It'll completely break through here. And it really will. It'll just carry on. And then you just have to sit there and wait. But it doesn't really matter at that point because you got in down here at 32 quarter, right? And now it's up 28 points in your favor. You've taken profit 1, 2, 3 times, and you've got some still running. Cool. So what do? You just fold your hands, sit on them, and don't do anything until the next thing is called out. Because you're in a winning trade. Just hold on to it. There's nothing to do. At some point, something would get called out, a resistance level, a different has to hold, whatever. Something would get called out.
Right, thank you. So it's
Mhm.
price.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just price.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would suspect it actually goes through this rubber band. That's my assumption based on price action. Anyhow, well, that's fun. We kind of got to do a little bit of live training in the middle of which is weird this time of night to have this type of movement.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Yeah, no worries.
Mm.
No worries. Yeah, we'll see what happens here in the next. I gotta look it up. I think Nvidia reports here this week earnings. Yeah, next major decision's not down until 385. That's way down there. 385. Yeah, that's way down here. So again, like I said, it's all in segments, right? So this is all fine and dandy, but if you can't get to the rubber band, then there's no hope of the 385, right? Like
Yeah.
you got to do one thing to do the next.
Okay.
I'll erase this because it's not actually a thing. I'm just making stuff up.
Oh yes.
This is not a real move. Yeah, I don't want to forget that and somebody sees it later and like, what's that? Like, no, that's nothing. It's early. Okay. Oh, jeez.
Oh,
Are you kidding me?
again. Could that be a bus or something?
I just cleaned it. Okay, well, I know what I'm doing tonight.
Okay.
All right. Well, anyhow.
Anyway, we've got something for tonight, so appreciate you.
Yeah, I think we got far enough.